One of the reasons I wanted to move into PR was to be part of a team, right? Like when I was a journalist, I felt a bit like a lone wolf, like it's you and your editor, and I felt sometimes like everyone was mad at you, no matter what you did. The company you wrote about was mad at you. The analyst, you didn't say exactly what they said, they're mad at you. The readers didn't like it. But being part of a team with PR and having clients, everyone's working to success, and you enjoy that together. But one of the reasons why probably it's harder for a company to change their PR agency very often in B2B is the level of knowledge that they need to be able to communicate the brand effectively, right? So
Yeah.
if you're working with a very high-tech agency, or sorry, if you're an agency working with very high-tech clients, for example, we have a client that uses digital tools to affect water and energy consumption in several industries: manufacturing, energy, packaging, food and beverage. And they're using artificial intelligence, predictive analytics, prescriptive analytics, IoT, remote monitoring, mixed with new sorts of chemistry and science. That's something that it takes you even a couple months to really get versed in what all that means for their customers, and then years to really lock it down and be an expert on that, of how digital tools really might affect a nuclear power plant. And to see a case study, a challenge, a solution, and then results, that kind of knowledge takes years to build and become an expert. So um, it probably, that is why there's less project based and it's not so fast moving sometimes. It's a bit deeper learning experience, and then the stories you tell really have to resonate in terms of dollars and cents, because potentially millions of dollars could be involved in working with one of these companies.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, I mean, the fundamentals of that really plug back into journalism, right? So at its core, that ability to understand a subject, often with not very much prep or insight, and to be able to extract a story from it, that's a skill, right? That needs training. And I mean, actually, with your background, you have better understanding of that than me. But you're right. I mean, you are having to try and get your head around um, complex chemistry and the digitization of water one day, or you might then move into cutting edge marine propulsion, and then you might jump back into um, engineering on super tall buildings or something like that. And so every day you're having to say, all right, what's a really eye-catching story within this, and how am I going to tell it? Well, first of all, how am I going to simplify it, right? Because you're just overwhelmed with a huge amount of technical information, and then asking the right questions, pursuing the right lines with the experts or the engineers to be able to extract the right storylines from that, and then packaging it all up in something that's going to appeal to potentially, to mainstream or business press, but even packaging stuff for trade press has to be done in the right way. I mean, it is the richness and the quality of the story is such an important part of achieving success in B2B, right?
Yeah, yeah. And like when I was a journalist, I mean, you would follow companies on a beat, right? And so you would check in with that company every few months, and they would have something new, and then you'd write a story and you'd put it out, and that would be the end of it. But the kind of work that you're talking about, we're telling ongoing stories with these companies in PR.
Right.
Right? So, and even sometimes we're saying, this is where we are now, and then this is where the company wants to go, and here's what it's going to take to get there. And it can be visionary a lot of times, of like, we're working towards this sustainability goal, or we're working towards this automated job site, right? And actually, to take it back to that original anecdote I told about the gentleman who gave me advice, I do think he was right in terms of B2B being where the levers of the economy are. And I don't want to downplay B2C at all, because we all buy these products and it's super important. And actually, as we're going to talk about, I steal a lot from B2C PR people and the ideas that they bring forward, and pay attention to it and think they're equally as genius in a different way. But some of the clients you mentioned, right? We have, they work in construction. So you're seeing how civilization is building yourself. You're seeing how skyscrapers are being built and new energy plants, and the advances in safety that they bring and efficiency. Or we have clients, right, in the marine sector, and it's making boating more safer for humans and for marine life, and reducing energy consumption and the possibility of, let's say, like fuel spillage, that sort of thing. We have a client that makes lawnmowers and snow blowers, and they're moving electric for the for these big commercial companies. And that has implications in terms of when you can mow a lawn near a school or an old folks home or a hospital. And these have really real implications for the overall economy and for the people involved. So I do think he was right. And I do think it's one of the great things about doing B2B is if you do have a passion for something like climate change or efficiency or people's lives being better, we get the chance to do that with these clients. We get to see how one piece of technology can take, let's say, the painting of an automobile used to take 1,000 gallons of water, and they're trying to get it down to 10 gallons of water, right? Times X number of automobiles made daily, times 365 days a year around the world, right? We might hear in news media to shut the water off when we're brushing our teeth in between, like brushing sessions. But that's, pun intended, not a drop in the bucket compared to saving hundreds of gallons of water per car that's painted.